NSFW, people who work in the adult film industry, what is the weirdest / creepiest / nastiest thing you've seen or experienced while working? A friend of mine used to do cam work and had a regular who would pay her upwards of $600 a session to 1. Tie her hair up in pigtails with orange ribbon. 2. Cover the room in orange balloons. 3. Wear orange lingerie. 4. Squeeze oranges over her. Yep. $600. My husband used to work on set of filming. One thing that horrified him was seeing how dirty / messy it'd get. So many times they'd have to stop filming to clean up poop. And since scenes would often take hours, the smell would get awful, especially during the summertime. I was an adult actor in the mid-90s. This wasn't me, but a buddy of mine. He was on a boat for a film shoot. He was also high on mushrooms. The director asked him if he would a midget. He didn't want to, so he told the director an absurdly high price. The director met that price. There he was, tripping balls and balls deep in a little person, and somehow, I never found out how, the boat began to sink. They ended up getting rescued by the Coast Guard. I think this may have scarred him. It did make the news, but I tried googling it and came up with nothing. Anything before 2000 seems to be prehistory. I had a neighbor who used to be a camera guy for an old production company. He said that when anal sex started making its way into straight videos, nobody knew about cleaning up before a scene. Apparently one actor randomly starts screaming in the middle of a scene, removes himself from the actress, runs over to a trash can, and proceeded to pee poop. He and his co-workers affectionately referred to it as poop noodle. Dated a girl who did amateur porn and cam girl work. Weirdest thing was how much more people would pay for anything involving holes, liking paying up to double what they would for regular. I knew a guy that did gay foreplay. He was offered $2,000 to take it like a man, so to speak. He was kinda broke, so he went for it, but he didn't prep properly, despite being told numerous times to douche and all that. His words, "I did it, then hot brown lava came out. Please prep properly." The creepiest thing is seeing how high out of their mind some of these girls are. Some of them are soaking high they can barely stand up straight. Really makes you think about what the hell you're doing. Friend of mine did a handful of adult movies. She worked for one of the bigger companies in Germany at the time and said that immigrant porn stars and foreign Eastern European porn stars were treated like absolute dirt. And I'm talking really disgustingly bad. They always had a buffet area way off to the side because the shoots often took 10+ hours a day, and when there were no German female actresses in that shoot, the guys, often for hire or free, would jizz and / on the buffet and on some of it as well. Sad part is, they always rehired those guys or used them again because either cheap or free. One time according to her they also just beat the out of a girl that refused to do anal. Not in the film industry, but I do run a kink club. Nothing excessively weird happens that I will witness on my way around, but the utter smell of people in the orgy rooms. I cannot stress how bad the smell is. Imagine the smell of sweaty ballsack x100. It definitely gets overwhelming if you get hit by it. Edit, alcohol disinfectant plus baby wipes plus disposable towels. Not primarily baby wipes. I don't work in porn, but a buddy I have used to work camera for them, and the grossest thing was specialty porn. Evidently it does not smell good when an actor that clearly hasn't showered in a while then has literal mixed in. I'm an erotica photographer. I've seen a lot of things but nothing that bad. My first photo shoot ever was to a girl dressed as a baby. She used a massive dildo and a pacifier. Another one started her period, and I had to tell her because she didn't realize. That was in my house. I had to clean after. I had to tell a girl she forgot to take off her tampon. That was awkward. Another masturbated furiously with rose petals, and it was so violent I got nervous. I'm really new to this, so these are the things that make me really uncomfortable. I'm a lesbian woman, but let me tell you something. I'm really tired of looking at vaginas. I don't have personal experience, but I've heard adult film stars talking about how sometimes girls use sponges instead of tampons so that they can have sex while on their period, but they'll forget they're in there. They talked about how after a week or so it will start to smell like a rotting corpse, and these girls, who genuinely have forgotten about the sponges, don't know why. Edit. Just to clarify, I'm a girl myself, and I know this is very similar to forgetting a tampon or a menstrual cup, but what made it remind me of gross porn situations is the idea of using a makeup sponge instead of traditional methods, so that you can still film sex without showing blood/tampons. Then unfortunately forgetting it's in there and showing up on a different set to film a sex scene days later with it still in there and smelling horrible, unlike other methods that don't really smell and are usually remembered later. I worked for a big 90s porn star in 2005, and the first time she told me to bring her to set, carry her bags and kiss her goodbye, just to show everyone a male presence. We drive to the industrial side of East LA, and she knocks, and a big garage door opens unveiling a posh red rug with a holly, and a girl bent over the Harley with a yoked out dude behind her. The director finished telling them the scene as I walked in. The girl walks toward me absent-mindedly and farts, letting out an almost orgasmic sound. The guy walks the other way and kisses his boyfriend, and says classic gay lisp, "Oh god, I don't know if I can do this." Disbelief shattered, all magic lost. Was a paramedic in the late 90s. Went to this part of town that's all strip clubs. Always drinks touching the girls then get ked up for it. Anyway we'd see all the hidden spots. The champagne room, the sticky floors are not from champagne. But most sad was the makeup room the girls get ready in. Meth pipes and needles everywhere next to pictures of their kids. Piles of sweaty dollar bills. Bulk packs of unlubed condoms. Vomit stains around the toilets from bulimia. Many are lesbians that have to give a manager a daily blow just to work. They live a sad life. I've done a couple cam shows before. Weirdest was a guy who took me on private while he was smoking meth, wearing clamps, and king off. He wanted me to control how long he held his hits for, and supposedly his husband was sleeping and unaware what he was up to. I actually didn't even do or show much myself, and probably made about $50 off having him there for 10 to 15 minutes. A girl I was on a photo shoot with for a big name gentleman's magazine rhymes with Custler. She was doing a spread eagle photo and we saw brown stuff leaking out of her. She came back from the bathroom and she found a Jurassic tampon or sponge she had shoved up there and forgotten about for months. I have many other stories, but this one stuck with me. Good news I guess, is I got a 5-page spread pun intended lol. I quit the industry years ago, but I'll always have this magazine to gross out people when I'm old. I worked in porn for about 6 years behind, and then in front of the camera. The grossest thing I heard of happening was actually from my old housemate, who was trying to break into the porn industry. She decided to do anal to try giving herself that extra boost into the spotlight, and booked herself in for an anal scene with someone I'd worked with on the past. She arrived. She had prepped. She was stunning, so I had no doubt she'd do great. The big black dude put his in her, and on release she prolapsed. Q&E, lots of medical checkups, and no more anal for her after the surgery she needed to have to put her hole back inside. Real gross. I made a throwaway because I post in mommy and craft subs mostly on my main, and I don't want the cross-contamination. In college, I did put for 2 years. Started off as can work, and was scouted by a subscription website. I did a total of 36 shoots, mostly photos, but I've been in 5 videos, all college girl themed. One of these videos, about a month before I quit doing porn, I was working with a male and another female performer. I knew them both, not well, but well enough to know that I wasn't looking forward to this shoot. We get down to business and are doing a screen where I'm straddling the man's face while the other girl rides him, and we make out. I'm kissing this other girl like she's my prom date when I feel her tense up and the guy making movements and sounds like he's ming. She jumps off him shrieking about how she didn't agree to a cream pie. She then runs over a member of the crew, snatches his water bottle out of his hand, squats, shoves the top up her vagina and squeezes all the water into herself. She then squatted there for a bit. The blast of water into and immediately out of her vagina just splashed all the crew's feet and soaked into the carpet of this hotel room. She stormed out later, and I only got paid for half the shoot because that's all we got done. I left porn not much later. It was the biggest overreaction I'd seen. It's porn. There's gonna be on your face. It's just part of the job. Mostly everyone in porn I met was super chill. was doing casting and receiving pictures from the girls and uninvited guys who came in droves. I usually dismissed them politely, told them they would be kept in file for future projects, etc. But there was one guy who wouldn't take no for an answer. Granted, he had a huge, but the bosses did not need any more men. For a full month he sent me a pic every day, and the ritual culminated with a goats video who I'm not entirely sure wasn't him. Disturbing, but I laughed every second. It was a fun job. I'm an attorney that briefly worked for an adult video company a few years ago. The company previously had a problem with a particular actress who did a few scenes and then was banned by the company for intentionally biting a guy's penis during shooting. For what reason? Apparently they had a falling out, the guy stole her cocaine or something offset, and she decided to exact revenge. Obviously biting someone's in this industry is a big no-no, and she quickly found herself out of work as word of our banning got around. Desperate, she eventually went to rehab for a year, got cleaned up, and the company decided to give her another chance. So for legal reasons, basically to witness any direct evidence in case some goes down, I was called in to be on set during the first shoot since her return. I warned her not to pull any shenanigans as I had just a minor concern that she wanted to come back for revenge on the company itself. Anyway, it was a gangbang scene and there were about a dozen other guys lined up as she was being orally and vaginally penetrated as well as jacking 2 other dudes off. As she appeared to reach climax, suddenly I hear simultaneous screams from 3 dudes. To my horror, she forcefully bent the erect penises of the 2 guys she was jacking off and bit down on the guy she was performing oral on. The director yelled, "What the?" as crew members erupted in sheer chaos. The girl casually lifted her head off the table that she was lying on and said, "Next time use a serious tag, OP," as she winked at me with a grin. In college we did a short film about girls in Silicon Valley and their porn/prostitution. Most of them said it was all about anal, which from what I deducted, was about the guy coming inside without a rubber, so she wouldn't get pregnant, but one girl's baby showed otherwise. We went with one girl who at the time was a minor. 2004 she was at a stripper golf tournament, covered in bruises, where guys would bid on them for charity, and if they won the girl would ride in the cart and played golf with them. This girl said, when they got on the backside of the course away from view, she agreed to do a short film with this dude, who ended up being high up at Apple. He was the anal baby daddy guy. She then showed us a short video on her old Palm Trio phone that had Potato Vision, a warehouse filming location. It looked like a freaking horror film. Blood, covered rags, squirt, pee all over everything. The cameraman that was filming a scene had a massive boner, and then after they said cut he ran off to the bathroom. She said there were times they would just beat it while filming, just so they could think. When we finished talking to her, I had to ask why she was covered in bruises, and she said it was for a film she did for some Indian Bollywood style movie, which she said reminded her of Indiana Jones/Jabba the Hutt scene, where she was chained up and whipped with a large leather strap. She was paid $200. I have pictures of me at the golf tournament and have the film, but it's on VHS-C and don't have a way to get it off without buying another camcorder. So a little different BC, I'm a cam model and do private sessions with people. The strangest requests I've had is to shove a dirty toilet brush bowl up my hoo-ha or ride a plunger handle stick. Those were an absolute hell no from me. The strangest things I've seen is the guy who likes to his own, and the guy who likes to have me watch him shove things up his butt, usually different fruits and veggies. He would have coming out and it would be on his fingers and he would lick his fingers and be touching things. This was just nauseating.